Signs of duress. So we've had a chat then about some of the behaviors that seem to be associated with effective time managers. But of course, maybe you and I have observed some people in our lives that aren't effective at all in terms of time management. And I bet we've noticed some typical behaviors that people like that display. In order to talk about this today, let's use a case study featuring a fictional character. Let's call this character Bob. So Bob wakes up in the morning. He's got a really important meeting scheduled for 9 a.m. But when he went to bed last night, he forgot to set his alarm. So he wakes up late, already in a panic. He's got to get the kids ready for school, so he's madly trying to prepare breakfast for them, trying to make the toast, but he forgets to depress the toaster. There's suddenly a knock on his door, and it's a very friendly neighbor standing there trying to remind Bob that it was Bob's job today to be the walk-to-school monitor. Bob's now filled with full-on panic as he realizes that not only does he have to get himself ready for work, he's going to take 2 sets of kids to school. Once he drops them off at school, he hires a cab, rushes into work, and he realizes that he prepared some notes the week before in anticipation of today's meeting. But the notes are on his PC, and he recently had a change of password. He can't remember the password. So he decides he's going to have to attend the meeting and just wing it. He hasn't got his notes with him. He arrives at the meeting a few minutes late, but to his great relief, there is nobody in the meeting room. And he thinks, fantastic, I've managed to beat the rest of the attendees here. But he sits there for 10 minutes, nobody arrives at the meeting, and then it dawns on Bob that the meeting was actually rescheduled, and he'd forgotten about the fact that that reschedule had happened late last week. He now heads back to his desk, realizing that he's wasted a significant chunk of the morning of his workday, and now he's got to try and catch up. Of course, what we want to do is avoid ever being in the situation that Bob has experienced. And we're going to look today at how to avoid being in that sort of stressful situation.